co-CEO and founder at iZigg. Welcome everyone to tonight's call. I couldn't be more excited about the topic of tonight's call. I guess it's the better part of 20 years of entrepreneurship and business in general for myself and my partners here at iZigg and all the ventures that I've been a part of, because they've all centered around one common theme in this 20 years of business, which is, really how do local businesses, how do they drive business into their door? How do they make it simple? And most importantly, how do they do all that and still run their company? And, that's what we're about to dive into, which really, I think is so appropriately deemed, local mobile commerce, because, it's not just today, but it's always been where all the action is, if you ask me. But over the last 3-4 years, as everyone on the call knows, local has really been the hot topic. Whether it's Yelp or Groupon or all these big companies that have come onto the scene, really everything is talking about that local community and what's happening. And I guess the first thing that I want to dive into is just this huge shift that's happened in marketing. And, it's really quite ironic to hear, if anyone's watching CNBC and watching the news, what's happening with even the biggest technology companies in the world, whether it's Facebook or Google or Yahoo, any of these companies, they're literally shifting their entire strategies to figure out mobile. And it's, I guess, quite refreshing, since the team here at iZigg has been working on text marketing and mobile media for the past 7 years. And I guess that's why they deem me in some ways the godfather of this space. Kind of an old guy in mobile media, but certainly there's nothing old about mobile media today. It's the fastest growing sector and movement that we've ever seen in the history of marketing in general, and really the way people interact. And if anyone on the phone tonight or anyone listening is involved in a small business, and that could be something that's literally a single location or a chain of hundreds of locations, but operating at the local level, which probably is about everybody on the phone, you've seen all the old school methods. And, whether it's websites even, you wouldn't even think of a website as old school, but it's quite ironic that we put that on the old school side, because really the internet, or kind of the PC as we call it, is really becoming old school. And so is email marketing and coupons and radio and flyers. And I'm not saying that those tactics aren't still useful tactics, but what I'm saying is, over the last few years, things have not shifted, have completely shifted to the new stuff that's happening, to, literally everything is moved to all of these new forms of marketing that we've seen, whether it's Google offers or Groupon or Facebook check-in or Foursquare, and who's going to be the mayor of your location and who's going to, literally move up the ranks. And, frankly, if you ask me if you own a local business or you're involved in it, I think this next slide really sums it up, which it's pretty darn confusing. It's pretty darn confusing to know what tactics to use, how to use them, how much of your budget you should spend on one form of marketing. Should you still even be doing the old forms of marketing? And then all of a sudden, all you hear is mobile, 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 and I guess the question we posed on one of the last webinars was, what's your mobile strategy? And, since that last webinar, I've probably asked, 30 different business owners that same very question. And most of the time I get this kind of like, look back at me like, what do you mean? And, I think that that's pretty common and probably expected right now, because as the market shifts, it's really hard to know what things to focus on when you look at really the landscape that's out there. So I'm going to dive into, what we think here at iZigg is the mobile social formula for success. And it really is a compliment. A lot of people ask me, given my role as CEO here at iZigg, and, since we are so focused on text marketing and mobile media, well, should I be doing Google offers? Should I be using Foursquare? Should I use Twitter? And we always say yes. I mean, use all of these new tactics. I mean, they're all fantastic, but it's a new world out there. You've got to do 10 different things and do them in small increments. But the one thing that I really, and it's, it's funny that today I got this, an email from somebody telling me about Facebook and how the posts on Facebook as a business owner are seen by fewer and fewer people, because Facebook is trying to further monetize. This probably makes sense to everybody. Their platform, and they ask businesses to sponsor their post. And by doing that, they mean to pay for it. So, even what seems to be free is not. And we always say to businesses, you need to own your own channel. You need to own the ability to communicate instantly with your customers. And whether it's iZigg or any other form, any other text marketing company out there, we happen to think we are the absolute best program on the market, from the 90210 short code, which is the easiest to remember 5-digit number in the universe, to the pricing, to the platform. But again, I tell everyone, whether it's iZigg or someone else, you owe your business the service of building a mobile list. And you don't have to take my word for it on this call. I mean, look, I've got 7 years of experience. We have probably delivered this team close to 100,000 unique campaigns from all the different businesses we work with, and we're sending out literally, we'll send out 100 million text messages this year. But what I've got the opportunity tonight, and we really think that the individuals on the team who have been involved in a lot of these stories, is to share with you a story of a business that literally has used mobile marketing, has proven some of the stuff I'm going to tell you about. And before I dive into that, we actually did a study here at iZigg that I think some of the folks who were listening to some of our mobile social webinars during the first half of this year, they heard a lot of the businesses that were involved in that study. And when we asked them what were the results of a post on Facebook or a tweet on Twitter, and literally the results were 20 to 30 times more powerful when they sent out a text message. And this really blew us away as we started to get this data back from people, whether it was a Verizon wireless store that's using the program, or an Andretti karting that's using it, or a Sonic location in Texas. The feedback came back. It was just overwhelming. And when you think about that, having 100 people that you can instantly connect with on their mobile phone is probably equivalent, when you think about the return, to 2,000 friends on Facebook. So I say think about that for a minute. And, a lot of people, when they first think about mobile media and this whole idea of like owning my list, one of the things they always say back is, well, how do I build that list? Isn't that hard? And we say, look, you've got to do some work. You've got to put some work into it. You've got to promote the heck out of it and put it all around. But keep in mind, it's a very valuable list. I got a friend down the street from me here in Atlanta that owns a Subway, and he's up to, a single location, he's up to 200 people. But literally that 200 people, he's able to move people to action on a Sunday afternoon that he was completely dead, and move people into that location. So we've actually got a story here from a Papa John's up in Athens, Georgia. The owner has been very, very successful with mobile media, and he shared this information that I'm sharing with you guys on this call tonight. It's just really a testament to the use of owning your own channels and using mobile media. He shared some numbers from the summer of 2011 where he was using pretty much what you would think a pizza place would use, traditional media. He'd be in the AdBo, which is the direct mail stuff that comes into your mailbox. He'd be in the newspaper inserts. He'd maybe be doing a little bit of radio, some of the traditional things you'd think of. And during the summer months in Athens, Georgia, which is a predominant college market, he would lose in the neighborhood of $40,000, and he lost like 60% of his audience. So again, still profitable business. He'd expect to do that in the summer. But over that period of time, from summer 2011 to summer 2012, which is this past summer, he got involved with iZigg. He got involved with mobile media, and he started building his list. And as you can see here, he's got in the neighborhood of 7,000 people that he can instantly connect with via text message. He's got now, I think this is probably a week or so old, this presentation. He's probably got close to 6,000 people on Facebook with some really engaging stuff. So he went all paperless. I mean, this could hit the news in a big, big way. To think of a paperless month for a pizza place, not printing anything, and going solely on the use of mobile and social, right there at a local level in Athens, Georgia. And the results are just, it's proof, it's testament that he moved from a loss of $40,000 to breaking even. He saved $20,000 by not doing a lot of that marketing that he was doing. It was very, very costly. And you can see sales were up 10%. and marketing expenses were down 40%. So, sometimes it's actually easier to spend less than it is to increase sales. In this case, he did both, which is really quite amazing. And I think it probably makes sense to everybody on the phone tonight. Whether you're a business that's looking at iZigg for the first time, when you stop and think about what is everybody doing when they're in your restaurant, when they're driving, when they're everywhere, this statement, which we talked about 3 years ago, go where the eyes are, they're all on their mobile phone. So it makes sense, but really those traditional forms of marketing have gotten so fragmented. And, we've had the luxury here at iZigg over the past 3 years to literally work with tens of thousands of businesses from every category you can think of, from literally 350 Palm Beach tan locations throughout the country that drive people from one tan to the next to getting that repeat business up, to Hooters locations that get people in. They're loving this platform this type of year. Imagine selling beer and wings during football season and being able to instantly connect with people on your own channel on the one device everyone has. And again, this is just obvious stuff, but it's really been fun having all these stories happen, and it's just all these different locations. So, one of the things we said here at iZigg was it starts with text marketing, but it doesn't stop there. And we meant that because really this shift that we're all seeing, this huge shift that we're seeing to smartphones, and we heard that, Apple sold, 5 million new smartphones in a weekend. It's just unbelievable. And we heard yesterday from Tim Cook that they sold 100 million iPads, and the iPad is getting smaller and phones are getting larger. But the thing that really is amazing, and most businesses don't know, is literally 30 to 40% of people are viewing their internet site on a mobile device. And so why is that so important? Because if you think about a 19 or 21-inch screen, you think about the way that an internet site was designed, it wasn't designed for a small phone. Add on to that people now are getting used to gorgeous, well-designed apps that are engaging, that give you the information you want at the second you want it. So we always said it starts with text messaging, but then it moves from there. And if you're a local business, on this phone right now, or maybe you've gone to a local business, look up their website on your mobile phone, and you'll probably 9 out of 10 times see what I'm talking about. So what we've done here at iZigg is we've launched, and we're going to do another webinar where we really dive into this product. It's probably one of the things I'm most excited about because it really brings a campaign. And again, assuming you've been building your list, and if you haven't, you should jump right into that portion and own that list. You should then drive them to a very compelling, engaging mobile experience. And that's where it gets so exciting, whether it's an Enter to Win campaign we are doing with Monster Energy Drink, or we've got a couple of orthodontist office that really are leading edge in terms of marketing and their brand that is just, phenomenal. Ron Cohen and Boyd, a couple of individuals that are at the forefront of a field that probably isn't known for cutting edge marketing, but really it's time for all businesses. And it doesn't matter if you're a doctor, dentist, a lawyer, a florist, a car mechanic, you want to have an engaging, powerful presence when someone pulls you up on their mobile phone. And what's happening is people are Googling just like they do on their computer, and then they're driving to your site. And we've got the ability to do data capture, location-based stuff, really almost everything you could do on an app, you can do on what's called mobile web. And, not to get in all the technical stuff, the thing about it is it's just real easy. It's just real easy for the end user. And I think that's where the world has shifted. The end user, consumers now are used to consuming information very quickly. They want to find something. They want to know right where it is. They don't want to go to a website where they have to pinch their screen and find somebody's phone number. And, we're seeing this stuff real time. But the most exciting thing I guess I want to share with everyone on tonight's call is we've got an organization here at iZigg. We're excited to share this stuff with everybody, and it's a new world out there in terms of marketing and the way that businesses are able to engage with their customers and use what are really kind of the 4 big buckets today, which is social, which we talked about, that engagement factor that we still really think is powerful and everyone should do, local localization, integrating with mobile, and ultimately commerce. Whether you have e-commerce or not, commerce is about ROI, and it's always been there, in 20 years of business. How do you get a return on your investment of marketing dollars in and dollars out? And we found that with the text marketing product, and now with, creating a really rich mobile web experience, businesses can do that for, really, I'd say the first time, because before, I think a lot of the marketing that was done, you had no idea where it was going. And we've seen, I guess I'm just honored to be part of this company, and for the folks that are on the phone tonight that are, that work together with us in building this. I just want to thank everyone, because we have built a phenomenal platform, but the best is yet to come, really, as we continue to offer these services. So we're going to be doing a number of these webinars. Thanks everyone for joining us. I couldn't be more excited to share some of the tactics that we're doing, and certainly stay tuned to learn more about some of the new services that iZigg will be rolling out. Thank you again. This is Dave Liniado from iZigg, and this will conclude tonight's call.